October has come to the garden. Though with this last round of color, you would never know it. The sunflowers that I planted in late summer are doing their best to give me their best. And the zinnia are exploding with one last round of color. And so it's time to harvest, enjoy, and save the seeds. The coneflower is drooping, and the love lies bleeding is heavy and falling over with the weight. The kale looks like something prehistoric, and the vines are full of crispy dried beans. And that's my cue. It's time for me to take these annuals that I raised from my greenhouse this winter, or that I direct sowed into the garden, and it's time for me to gather them while I can still tell what color they are, and make these beautiful bouquets to save and inventory their seeds. The zinnia gives us such a great opportunity to reinvest in our garden year after year. The seeds are easily saved. They're like tiny little feathers. They're simple to store, and they give so much enjoyment. Everything in the garden is begging to give me its seeds. The snapdragons with their tiny little pods full of microscopic little seeds. Other seeds fall naturally to the ground, and you can see the soil covered in them. But it's a time of decay, beautiful decay, and pods drying, ready to invest in the garden next year. The faded zinnia blooms have to be my favorite. They're hanging on. There's just a little color left. And the sweet peas and their crispy vines can just be snipped and brought in and hung from the rafters. Even the sweet alyssum can be gathered and stored upside down in a little paper bag, or left till the very last minute in your garden. Give them a shake and watch the seeds fall to the ground. And now it's inside to my greenhouse. This year I am doing something different with my zinnia seeds. I'm putting them together in these bouquets and labeling them to hang them from the beams. And I think this is going to be so much more enjoyable than just storing them in a big crate like I typically do. This year I will know exactly which seeds are going to end up being which variety. This year I grew some colors that I so very much enjoyed. I moved away from the jewel tone colors and went with corals and peaches and mauve. And I'm definitely going to be planting them again next year. And all winter long, I'll get to enjoy seeing them hang from the ceiling. Even if they're crispy and dry, it will give me that sign of things to come, that hope for spring all white winter long. Those tiny little seeds, and even the dangerous ones like the foxglove seeds, can be stored in a brown bag. I love to take the dried stems and just tuck them in. And I can even tie a string around those and hang those if I want to. But I did receive a beautiful Queen Victoria produce crate from my mom this year for my birthday. And so that's where I'm going to be storing all my fragile, tiny little seeds. Larkspur, snapdragon, foxglove. She's so regal. Such an abundance the garden gives us. Every year I design a Christmas tree that is our nature tree. So we have our bling tree, of course, and then I love to decorate one full of all the treasures from the season. So birds' nests that the children find, and lavender bouquets, and droopy love lies bleeding like garland, dried hydrangea. I store many of my treasures in this extra copy of Julia Child's famous French cookbook. This is where I press my flowers. Special bouquets that the children bring me, flowers from my grandmother's farm, flowers from the farm where we lived before we moved here to Door County, and it will be full of many precious mementos from my second year garden here at Sur le Rocher. I know there's many new faces here, so I thank you so much for subscribing to Parisienne Farmgirl. You can find my cookbook on Amazon. You can shop essential oils on my essential oil website. Follow me on Instagram, and so many other special ways for us to keep in touch. I so appreciate you being here. A bientôt.